Hello and welcome to Martyn Lucas Investors Channel. My name is Sensei Crypto and we are doing today the Sunday special, the Sunday show, the show that we look at crypto charts, stock charts, your requests, everything like that. So welcome everyone in to the show. I was away last week, as many of you know. Thank you for all the comments in the chat. We'll be looking at them, and then we can be looking at SoundHound AI. We'll be looking at Bitcoin, XRP, my thoughts on that. We'll look at some commodities. We'll look at SBCE, and if anyone requests FSR, we can have a look at that as well. So yeah, let me know your requests. We'll go through it. We'll be having a good show, hopefully. So welcome everyone in. It's been an eventful week. We did a couple earnings this week for you guys. I came on the extra channel. Had a little bit of an issue with funware, but we managed to go through that. It was only a 20-minute earnings call, which was the shortest earnings call I've ever seen, which was surprising. But yeah, let's have a look at your comments and then let's get right into the show. If you are watching this later on or if you're watching this live, please do hit the like button. If we do hit 100 likes, I'll be donating $100 to charity. Last time I said $100, I had donated £100. So we do what we can. Of course, so let's have a look at your comments and see who's in the show. If you're watching this later on, please do also hit the like button and you'll be able to see, you can skip through and see your favorite stocks. If we covered them, they'll have timestamps for you later on as well. That's Martin at the top there saying welcome me in. James is here. Thank you, James, for being here. Sensei Crypto, Lucas AIDS. Sensei, congratulations on your marriage. Wishing you many years of happiness. Thank you very much, James. Vaz says 6 likes already. That's great. Sensei, I hope the wedding was good and you both had a great time. Get in the chopper. Thank you, Vaz. Yes, we did. We will get in the chopper. I was working around the house waist up naked as it was a beautiful day. At least it was waist up. I don't think anyone would like to see what was waist down naked for you, Vaz. My girlfriend came back from work and I was expecting her to say something like, hey, sexy, or hey, Magic Mike Groundworks, or something flattering. Instead, the first thing she sees me, where's your sweater? You're going to get a cold. We're not even married. Have fun. You're not even married and she's already bossing you around and she's already worried about you, which is great, Vaz. You have a lot in store for yourself. Flight channels here. Lucas says, I've been watching Martyn Lucas. This is Zach say. Lucas says, I've been watching Martyn Lucas music channel all weekend. We've got to save the channel, and we are 3,000 watch hours monthly. And watch 3,000 hours monthly. Yes, we need to save his channel, so please do watch Martyn Lucas and Martyn Lucas music. You can just type in Martyn Lucas, and it should come up. It's his music channel. You can just run playlists in the background. That's something I also enjoy doing. Sensei, once again, congratulations and good luck to you. Thank you, Zach. 8. Henrik is here. Congratulations, Sensei. Vaz is also here. We've already seen his comment. What's he said now? Same here, mate. We need to pull through. Yes, let's have a look at Martyn's music channel. If you have some time, please do that. Okay, so let's have a look at the markets. Let's have a look at a few stocks. Let's see how everything performed on Friday. So the biggest losers for Friday was SBCE. We'll have a deeper dive into SBCE. It's going sort of exactly as predicted. Remember, I buy zone at 77 cents. We made some good money with that. We went just to $1, as I said. But we'll get back to SBC later on. Nicola was also our next biggest loser. We had a trade with a very low risk, and we maybe lost 0.5% on that trade. That's why we have stop losses, because it either is at a level that it's going to hold and that you're going to have a second chance at making some money, because we had our first chance over here, which we made lots of money. We either have a second chance or it breaks the level and then you go to the next support. So that's why our risk to reward is always very high. And if we do lose, we lose out on 0.5%. MicroStrategy was the next biggest loser, down 7%. Hood was down 6%. Shopify was down 6%, so it wasn't a great day on Friday, it seems. Luna was down 5%, Mullen down 5%, AMC down 5%. Coinbase breaking support, down 4.5%, coming up to its bull market support band at the moving averages. Rocket Lab down some 3.5%. Is that about to break down and make all-time lows? We'll have a look at that as well if anyone requests. Make sure we're running. Yes, we're all good. Then we've got Snapchat down 4% after its mega rise after its earnings. We've got GME down 3%. IBIT Bitcoin ETF down 3%. ARK Innovation ETF, ARK Invest, is down 2.8%. Palantir down 2.5%. Tilray down 2.5% after a brilliant trade, may I say so myself. We if you watched the last video that I posted, that Martin posted 2 weeks ago, where I was doing the technical analysis, after that video, in a day, 44%. There we go. And that's why we have those trade setups. Etsy down 2.5%, PayPal down 2.5%, Rivian down 2.25%, Tesla coming back down 2%. Then we've got my chart has stopped working. Then we've got Lucid down 1.5%. We've then got Amazon down 1%. We've then got Apple down 0.8% after a mega rise after its earnings, announcing the biggest ever buyback in history. Let's see if we can get TradingView onto TradingView working again. If not, we have a backup. Let's bring the backup over. Sometimes the app doesn't work, so we move on to the web. Let's go from where we let's pick up from where we left off, which was um, Amazon, Apple, which obviously had a massive rise, and now it's down 0.8%, nothing too drastic. Google down 0.77%, the Russell 2000 down 0.67%. Pfizer down 0.6%. We had a trade set up on Pfizer, which is doing well. It's back above its support at its moving averages, which is good. Lyft down 0.35%. Netflix down 0.2%. UK 100, the FTSE 100 is down 0.1%. Disney was flat. The S&P 500 seems to be flat. The US 500 seems to be flat. J&J up slightly. Meta up 0.16%. And the S&P 500, here we go, the S&P 500, let's have a quick look at that while we're on it. That was up 0.17 during the hours of trading. So a quick analysis on the S&P 500 for you guys. As you remember, the S&P 500 sort of determines how the market's going. It's obviously the 500 biggest companies in the US, and a lot of weight is put on the US, the S&P 500. A lot of traders, market analysts look at the US, the S&P 500, as do I. We identified a clear bear market beginning in 2021, December of 2021. And we determined it was a bear market in March of 2022. The downtrend continued. That's what this green line represented. And then we determined it's a bull market. Martin determined it 2 months earlier than me, or a month and a half. And then I saw the charts also determine it. Always charts a little bit further behind, and then obviously the banks then determine it when we're well into a bull market. So Martin first, then me with the charts, and then obviously the big banks a year later determining it's a bull market. But the way I determined it was a bull market, we had a bottoming out structure, we had a break of structure, we had a higher low, and the charts then went into a bull market. And to make sure we're still in a bull market, we then created this parallel channel as the markets created it, and we identified it, which is this red line here. It's a parallel channel, so two parallel lines with a dotted heart line in the middle of those two parallel lines. As long as we stay within this parallel channel, we are in an uptrend, we are in a bull market. It can deviate to the downside and the upside slightly, but as long as in a quick succession we're back into the parallel channel, then all is well. And it's perfectly normal to sometimes break out below it and sometimes break out above it. The lower we are on the parallel channel, those are the areas I like to DCA. Again, as me and Martin like to say, we don't DCA blindly. We are actively investing in the markets. We know a lot about the markets, as does everyone watching this channel, because you are watching the markets all the time. There's no point randomly DCAing into the markets. You might as well DCA at points of value and low risk. You don't want to be DCAing at all-time highs. You want to be DCAing when you see value. And this chart allows me to figure out where that value is, and the value normally is below the heart line, which is the center of this parallel line, to at the bottom of the parallel line, and if we ever deviate below the parallel line, as we did in October of 2023. So as you can see, we deviated below there, then we quickly went on a bull run all the way to all-time highs, so that's a great place to buy. And what have we been doing recently within this parallel channel? We broke above it. At that point, I was saying be careful. We've broken above the parallel channel. We are overbought within the parallel channel. The S&P 500 is not a point to be looking to DCA at this moment in time. It's at all-time highs. It's above the parallel channel. It's overbought within the parallel channel, within the bull market. And what did it do? It came straight back below it and did something very strong, a sign of strength in the market, which was it went to the bull market support band, which is a band I like to use whenever we're above it and we're testing it. We're still in a bull market in terms of the moving averages. And what we did is we came and tested that, back tested it, came and make sure the market's strong. The buyers held this level, and what we did is we continued to the upside. And where are we now? We're back in the overbought area of this parallel channel. We're back at the top of the parallel channel. What does this mean? It means it's not an area I would be buying. It's an area where I would be cautious, maybe taking a few chips out the table. If I've made a fair amount of money, I'll be looking to sell at this area. I certainly wouldn't be looking to buy at this area. We are at the top of the parallel channel. And as I've said, that's the area where it's more high risk to be buying the S&P 500. And the S&P 500 does seem to direct where the rest of the market goes. So I would be cautious about the S&P 500 and the broader markets over the coming weeks and at these levels. We are back in an area of overbought area. It can go sideways, it can go a little bit higher, but ultimately it is in the higher end of the parallel channel, meaning I wouldn't be buying. What I'll be looking for now is just staying on the sidelines, seeing if there's any trade setups with low areas of risk that I can be buying in and not holding long term, holding maybe mid term and short term for a few day slash swing trades. Um, and that's where we are on the S&P 500. As you can see, I'm just bringing you that to your attention because the charts don't lie, in my opinion. They do give us the edge, and the edge right now is probably not doing too much in the S&P 500. I wouldn't be buying it at this level. I'd be waiting for maybe it to come back down to moving averages once again, or it might go above the trend line like it did on the 21st of February. And once it did that, it went sideways for about a month, and maximum it went up 4% before it came back down about 5%. So probably won't be too exciting on this S&P 500. Just bringing that to your attention. We are still in a bull market. Everything is intact. It's come and tested the bull market support band. So it looks like we're continuing to the upside, but just be cautious that there's not too much value in the S&P 500 at the moment. We go to the Nasdaq. It did something similar, came down to its bull market support band, tested it, and it looks like it's going higher. We've then got Microsoft, which was up 0.59%. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Please do hit the like button. Let me know you're here. Put me a comment in the live chat, and the first request I'll be doing shortly. We then got Coca-Cola, which had a good close on Friday. That's in an uptrend. It's broken out of its trend line. That's up about 0.6%. We've then got Baba, which is one of our buys recently. It was in our buy zone and no longer is. It's up 0.74%. Dollar Tree up 0.74%. We've then got Berkshire Hathaway up 0.8%. Very hot in the UK at the moment. I'm boiling right now. Sorry, I need a water break. Got McDonald's up 2.6%. Then we've got DXYZ up 4.26% after being completely crushed over the last few weeks. Fiverr up 5%. And then the best performer was SoundHound AI up 7%, which we'll have a deeper look at shortly. Let's then go on to our indicators, which also include gold. Been keeping a close eye on gold over the last few years. If you remember, about a year ago now, I released my gold report, which was a deep look at gold, and that was bullish. My report ended up being sort of right. It sort of gave you all the reasons fundamentally why gold should be going up, and I presented to you the charts of why gold should be going up. There was also obviously the massive cup and handle structure on gold. If we go onto the weekly time frame, you can see it very clearly. Here's the cup, here's the handle, here's the target. There was a higher target, $2,800, but we've hit our first target, which is amazing to see it all play out. This is a structure which was about over 10 years in the making, and to see it play out is really nice. Gold, obviously, at all-time highs, basically around 2,400. If you've got any gold in the attic, might be a good time to go to your local jewelers and sell it. Not financial advice, of course. Gold is always great to hold long term, especially in times of volatility. Then we've got silver, which is on a breakout watch. We're trying to get back above $30, and if that happens, you can expect to maybe hit a $50 silver price per ounce in the maybe couple years, a year. Bitcoin dominance. What percentage of the crypto market cap in Bitcoin? It's about 54.87%. Remember, I'm expecting this to maybe go to 60%. It's at the areas where it might start making sense to start buying altcoins instead of Bitcoin, but we're still in a Bitcoin dominance bull market, meaning Bitcoin is probably the safest crypto to be holding at this moment in time. Let's have a quick look at the stream, make sure we're running okay. How many likes do we have? 16. Great. So if you have just tuned in, please do hit the like button. 16 likes is amazing. And let's make sure we've got the comments. Yes, we do. What else do we have? We've got oil. Oil sitting about $82 a barrel. I'm not sure if Stephen Lewandowski is in the stream today, but he might want to say something about oil. It's gone a bit sideways recently, but I do expect oil to head closer to that $100 a barrel in sort of this year. Got VIX, the volatility index for the S&P 500. It had a sharp rise when the war scare came, World War III scare came, but then it's come all the way back down, which is good. We then move on to the crypto watch list, which consists of Bitcoin predominantly. Here we go. Bitcoin sat at $61,340 on Binance. You can also have a look at it on Bitstamp, $61,318 as well. So Bitcoin, again, as I said, it's going to be a bit boring after the halvening straight away. It's probably going to be sideways and down, which is what it's been doing. It did actually test its bull market support band, which is good. It didn't go below it. That went all the way down to 56,400. So Bitcoin looking fine. Not too much. We would expect a sort of a move in the next coming months, maybe a quick flush down, and then a continuation of its move to the upside. We're expecting $100,000 Bitcoin. Would I say this year? Probably this year, maybe. We'll get close, I'd imagine. And then obviously 2025 is when I expect us to surpass 100,000 and go on sort of to 140,000 maybe next year. And then we can also have a look at XRP, which is back at that 50 cents. Again, what I've been doing, I've been DCAing when we drop below 50 cents with some limit orders around 33 cents in case of a flash crash, which when a flash crash happens for Bitcoin, it's a 2 times, 3 times flash crash for XRP. XRP suddenly moves down and then regains 10-15% very quickly. So I would have limit orders set up around 35 cents for XRP. I do have a price target of around $5 to $10 next year for XRP. The crypto market's been very sideways and slightly down, so there's not too much to report back on that. Arweave has been doing quite well. That's one of our picks. Came back to its bull market support band, and in a matter of a couple of weeks, it's gone up another 90%, which is good. Litecoin for Zachzay, again, we've been saying it's a boring one that slowly goes up. So again, my target's $150 in a sort of a year. And then obviously maybe up to the $400 mark next year. So I am still bullish on crypto. There's just not too much news to report back on that currently. Let's go back to the stocks and have a look at your comments. Henrik says, could you have a look at Frey? Frey battery and copter for me, thanks. Yes, I can have a look at the charts, the technicals. If you want a fundamental review, please either give a super chat or discuss that with Martyn when he's ready for his next batch of reviews. What are your I'll get to that in a second, Henrik. Thank you. What are your thoughts about the Bitcoin halvening? There's not too much more to say. I said it before. Probably a drop, bit of boring action for a couple months, and then once the supply shock starts coming in and people start getting hyped about it again, when the FOMO starts coming in, that's when we start having the rise to 100k. Once we get to 100k Bitcoin, we'll have a slight crash in the markets, and then everyone will start buying altcoins, and then the altcoins start going crazy. So still fairly bullish. Mike says hello, Sensei. Hi, Mike. Been ill Friday and all weekend, trying to recover. Can't wait to get better. Oh, James, it's the worst feeling, isn't it? You just appreciate the good days. So I hope you recover well. Mr. 007, feel better, Mr. One says Zach 8. Thunder and lightning in the UK. Oh goodness, not where I am. Did everyone get to see the Northern Lights in the UK? Let me know if you did, because that was amazing. No need to travel to Iceland anymore. You can just see it in your back garden. Who saw the Northern Lights? Vaz says, have you been working around your house topless? No, Vaz. Oh, he's talking to James. Yeah, that's why he got ill. Thank you so much, Zach. Much appreciated. James, where's the thunder and lightning? East Anglia is cloudless and quiet. Yes, it's not very cloudy here in the south of England either. Well, I consider London quite south. Vaz, when I go out for walks in just a t-shirt, I always get told, no wonder you catch a cold all the time. Yes, that's what my mother says to me as well. Thunder and lightning 12 miles away from Leeds and Skipton. Maybe it will make its way across to me and Vaz. Okay, let's have a quick look at Frey for, let's see if our app's working. Let's have a quick look at Frey for, was it Henrik? Yes. Then we'll do a couple videos. Oh, I really want to see the Northern Lights. I missed it as I was ill. James, I'm so sorry to hear that. Sorry, James. Good evening, good people. Craig's in the UK. Craig, did you see the Northern Lights? And sorry again about Funware. I can't believe the 2 times we tried to do the earnings for Funware, it just... Anyway. Yes, part from the sun... Yes, part from the sun came to visit Earth. Part of the sun came... So what, it's the solar flares from the sun that then react with the magnetic field of the UK, isn't it? So I guess it was to do with the sun. Big thunder lightning storm right now, James. Sorry about that. Send us some videos into Discord. Let's have a look at this stock for Henrik. Frey Batteries. So it's got a market cap of 261 million. So it's a well-established company. IPO'd around $10. Not going to do too long of analysis on these requests today because we've got a few videos. But I can do the best that I can for Mr. Henrik. So I'm just putting my horizontal lines in. And then we look for anything else that's significant. All-time highs is there. Let's get rid of... Oh, no, didn't mean to do that. Where's my chart gone? What have I done? Oh no, what have I done? Oh, here we go. So I was just trying to get rid of... There we go. Okay. So those are the horizontal lines. Is there any diagonal lines? Any trend lines? Something like that. Okay, let's go into our 3-day time frame. Go down the time frames, always look at it from the larger perspective and then start moving your way down into smaller time frames. Okay, it gives you a better sense of how the stock's been trading in the past. And then that's a 3-day time frame with a bit of resistance up top there. And then we can move into our daily time frame. See if there's any trade setups on the daily. Let's quickly have another look at the comments while that loads. Didn't get to see them too much like Pollution where it was, I guess. Oh, shame. I saw them really well actually. I could post some pictures into Discord. Collecting all the jigsaw puzzle pieces, says Vaz. Good evening, James, mate. James isn't well, so we're wishing him a quick recovery. Okay, let's clean up this. There we go. Okay, so obviously it's had quite a big drops, as have a lot of smaller market cap stocks. It's sort of fair value, I assume, is around $6. That's where it's been trading. It had two sort of attempts of holding. Three attempts. I just had a train nearby, which I never have. There is three attempts at this horizontal resistance at $6.50. There was once in 2022, which held, and then we had another one at June of 2022, which held, and then again it came down um, in May of 2023. It held, and then it tried again in August of 2023. And if you were looking at that time, it would have very big signs of it failing, but it did fail, and it came all the way back down. Quite a big crash in a matter of 60 days. The stock dropped 80%. And then it's sort of been going sideways and trying to accumulate. It came down to its all-time low in February of 2024 at about $1.18 or $1.20. There we go.
Vaz donated £1.99 through a super chat. Could you have a look at VLD, please?
Yeah,
Earnings 15th.
VLD, you do like that stock? We'll have a look at it, Vaz. No worries at all. And then it had the higher lows. So what looks good is the fact that it's accumulating. More people are holding the stock. It's heading higher. The bad news is you've got overhead resistance at this area here, which is formed by the 5th of December, 26th of December last year, and then again it tried to break out on the 8th of April, and it came back down. And what you're also up against is the moving averages are sort of in the area where it is now. So for me, it's not looking brilliant because you've got quite a lot of overhead resistance. I would much prefer buying the stock once it's. I'm happy to lose out on about 20%, 10% on the stock and wait for it to actually break out of this resistance, then being stuck in the stock for it to go sideways and then break back down. However, the stock, if it continues in this uptrend, that's a good sign. So this green trend line here, if it continues above that trend line, maybe it comes back and tests and continues going up, that's a good sign. It means more market participants are in it, holding it. Once it breaks above $22.23, which is the horizontal resistance, that's a good sign. And the ultimate good sign would be this green trend line dating all the way back a couple years. If it breaks out of that, which is also corresponding to this overhead resistance, which is also corresponding to moving averages, that's why I'm saying there's a lot of overhead resistance. Once you break out through all three of those resistance, which are fairly close together, which could be sort of the end of May, they'll all coincide around the same exact area. Once you break out at $2.23, you might see something like this occur, which I'll draw out for you now. Where is my drawing tool? There it is. You might see, so there's all this resistance around here, and what you want to do is maybe see it come test, sort of try and test. It might stay below it and might get rejected, but once it does break out, if it does, you'll see it suddenly shoot up to maybe $2.50. It might come back and test the resistance again, wherever that might be, between $2.12 and $2.25. So you'll see, let me get rid of it all, and then you'll see something like this occur: down, up, breakout, come back down. This is where I'd prefer to buy it once it's broken out, back at the same levels, basically near where we are right now. Come back here, and then that's where you want to have a trade setup where you've been buying here, your stop loss will be here, and your take profit will be much higher up. So then you buy here for the trade setup to take it higher. So that's where I'll be buying once it's broken through the resistance, coming back to test that resistance. And then where would you have your take profit areas? One would be around, let's do it with a horizontal ray. One would be around $3.16 first take profit, and then you're basically looking at next take profit around $6.42. So that's what I'd be looking at to be more confident in buying this stock. And then again, your ultimate buy zone, if you want to be buying this for the long term, might be trying to put a few limit orders, maybe at these levels here where it's been previously sort of $1.37, and then the all-time lows at $1.21. You might want to put some limit orders for the long term. But if you want to buy into this at higher levels, if it does break out, I'd much rather wait for it to pass the resistance, come back for the test, and then be buying it at that level there. Let's have a look at VLD for VAS. Thank you for the super chat. Why is my trading view being slow today? Sometimes trading view does this, so we just have to bear with it. Let's have a quick look at our speed test. I'm sure it's fine. Again, I'm connected to Starlink, so it does have an effect on where the satellites are. And it is slower than normal. Well, much slower than normal. 37. I guess we don't have many good satellites going past. 33. That's the slowest I've ever seen my internet for download. Let's hopefully that uploads. Yeah, that's the slowest I've seen the uploaders. Well, it's fine. It's about 6 to 7. Normally that's above 10. So that's why maybe I'm having issues with TradingView. The upload should be fine. It's just me trying to get these charts up for you guys. VLD, let's try it again. Why is it not working? VLD. Let's try it again. VLD. VLD. I'll have a look at it as soon as I can, Vaz. Let's see why this is not working. Have a look at your comments. Let's trying to see if the app works any better. Oh, it's asking if I'm a robot. No, I'm not a robot. Do bear with me. I'm just trying to get the chart back up and running for you guys. Promise I'm not a robot. VLD. Here we go. There we go. Oh, here we go. Thank you, Sensei. The Northern Lights were beautiful in Denmark. Also, wow, they must be even better up there. If you have any pictures, do send it into the breakfast bar. I want to see everyone's Northern Lights pictures. How often do you see it in Denmark? Is it because this is the first time I think in about 20 years we've seen it in the UK? How often do you manage to see it in Denmark? I imagine it's a bit more frequent, but not too frequent. Did Frey have good earnings, Mike? I'm not sure, unfortunately. Could Fisker transfer any of its debt to an Australian branch filing for protection and reconstructing under bankruptcy? Just yeah, Vaz, I wouldn't be the right person to ask on that technical question there. Chart technicals, ask me, but a technical question about the debt transfer of Fisker to an Austrian branch, I wouldn't know the answer to that. Here's VLD for that. So we've obviously looked at this chart before. We've already got our previous areas of interest and low risk and high risk areas. What we've seen here is we've broken below resistance. We've tested it as resistance. So my guess would be now we're heading to all-time lows. Maybe just to test them, maybe just to be a little bit above it. So I would expect VLD to come back down to around 20 cents. And then from then you can sort of trade your way out of it or trade back in buying it for the long term. For example, this would be my trade setup for VLD. So I'd have my limit orders set up around those all-time lows, maybe at 20 cents if some people want to front run it, but the most low risk area would be around 19 cents. And then you would have a few of these trade setups set up like this. You can do this alongside your main position if you just want to make some money and secure some profits. So it'd be something like, and I'll also check it along with the Fibonacci retracement just to make sure not missing anything. something like that. And then let's just check the Fibonacci points. If it does come all the way down, yeah, yeah, that would probably be a bit lower. Yeah, okay, so just because it's back below the resistance point, which coincides with the all-time lows in January 2024, that's a point of interest. That's why we have a horizontal line there. We've broken below it. We've tested it as resistance. We've double checked that there is resistance, and what we're looking for now is follow through to come back down to around 19 cents. And once it comes down to 19 cents, that's a low risk area to be getting in, either to buy long term or even try to execute a sort of trade situation where you can buy and sell out a certain amount at this level, at the 24 cents level, and then at the 29 cents level, and then ultimately you're trying to look to get back above 30 cents. So that's how I'll do it. I'll wait for a bit longer. Um, I wouldn't be buying now. I'd be waiting for its next level of support. I don't want to be buying at resistance because it's basically just at resistance. It's tested resistance and it's confirmed that there is resistance at that level. So I'd rather be buying when it's above resistance, not below resistance. And I do believe it's coming back down to 20 cents. The moving averages are quite far apart, but then again, once you get your buys in, you might want to be looking at taking some profits. Um, with where those moving averages are, because you're below them. So when you get back to them, they're going to be acting at resistance, not support. And those moving averages in time will sort of start coming something like that. So that might coincide to this area of take profit as well, which is also the same area as the previous highs of April the 30th. So that's why that take profit is at 28 cents, 29 cents. So yeah, it does seem like there's more downside to this. You can see that there is lower highs, and um, I would be waiting a bit longer. We did have the breakout. That's where we took our profits back in the moving averages. You can see the moving averages did play a part as resistance, and they probably will do again in the future. So again, I'll be waiting for around 19 cents, 20 cents to be buying VLD. Thanks for your super chat. I've seen it 3 times this year, but it has been many years since I've seen it last. Wow. Amazing, Henrik. If you have any pictures, I'd love to see them. See if it looks any different in Denmark. I've seen them in Iceland once, very green. Here it was obviously much better when you took a picture, but you saw all sorts of colours: green, pink, red, all of these rays coming down with all the streaks. It's really cool. Um, Hello, all excited for the week? I am, says Kevin B. Congratulations again, Sensei, on the wedding. Thank you, Kevin B. Thank you for all the congratulations. Sensei, I've been waiting for VLD to drop below 20 cents, but I'm holding long term. Might trim a bit if pops around earnings. Earnings, 3 days, yeah. So, yeah, best way to do it for earnings, Vaz, would be set up your limit orders. So, again, you might want to put your buy orders around the 20 cents. It's coming down slowly but surely. And as we have been saying, it's been trending down. So, it does make sense for it to ultimately come down unless there's amazing earnings. You may never see these prices again, but that's the point of earnings. Sometimes things happen drastically, and when things do happen drastically, the best way to do it if you're really interested in a stock is to have your limit orders. Buy zone, put a limit order at 20 cents, 19 cents, even 15 cents. You never know what can happen, but around 20 cents would be my area to be buying, and then have your limit orders to be selling at 30 cents or what you're happy with, 34 cents maybe. 30 cents would be our first point of take profit on the trade, and also 34 cents would be the next one. So maybe have your limit orders to sell. So either way, you might be buying more or you might be trimming off to be buying more in the future. Have your limit orders set up for earnings because that's the best point to get either out of a stock or into a stock. What about FSM? Wow, what is that? um, Fortuna Silver Mines. Gwei HSG. Well, it might be a scam or a bot. We don't know. If you want to become a member, I can. FSRN. Oh, FSRN. Sorry, I put it. Yeah, Fisker. If you want to become a member, I'll look at Fisker for you straight away. Can you have a look at KULR and TR? I'll have a really quick look because I'm going to do some videos in a second, and we've only got 20 minutes left. So QULR. So that is QULR Technology Group. Oh, it's in the breakfast bar. I really do want to have a look at that. Let's have, oh, what have I done? Breakfast bar. Let's have a look at the breakfast bar. Oh wow. Great pictures, Henrik. Let's show it to everyone. This is Henrik in Denmark. That's what he saw. It's very similar actually in the UK, which is surprising. I'll post some pictures of what I took on the breakfast bar as well. Very, very similar, but that's amazing how you got all those, the purples, the pinks, the reds, the greens. It looks like a whole rainbow there. That's a really nice picture. Even with all that light, there's light in the background as well, um, which wouldn't help. But look at that, looks great. It was so cool seeing them. Sorry to everyone in the US. I don't think you managed to see it at all. Okay, let's have a quick look at yeah, no worries, Kevin. So KULR, very low market, yeah, $79 million market cap. Is there any trend? The trend sort of like that, broke out of the trend. So you can see it had this sort of trend line, and then when it breaks out the trend line, you have sudden moves up. The all-time low was just before the breakout of the trend line, which is pretty typical. Sudden move up, came back down, almost tested a few moving averages, but not the main bull market support band. It's looking fine, to be honest. Obviously, high risk, low market cap stock. The overall trend is to the downside, but it's above resistance, which is good. You're at sort of about 35 cents would be your buy zone, which you're not too far off. At the moment, it's about 36 cents. You might want to limit order and then have your stop loss below the moving average at 32 cents. Then just trying to ride it back up to 90 cents. I'd have my take profit around 90 cents. And if I want to be a bit more conservative, I might want to take profits at around 60 cents. So not too much to say on that one. Let's have a quick look at your next one. CRKN Crown Corporation. Wow. This must be earnings tomorrow. Market cap of 2.2 million. Almost impossible to do. Look at a market cap so small. It's very, very volatile. The order books will be very, very thin. But let's try and have a quick look for you. So again, trend is just down to the downside. So we sort of expect this company to go bankrupt because all it does is go down. It's all-time lows. If you're holding the stock, take some profits at 6 cents, and then your next profits at 9 cents, and then ultimately you want to take your profits at around 25 cents, or around 15 cents. No buy zones for me at these levels. You're at all-time lows on a $2 million market cap with Kevin B. I wish I could say more on those two stocks, but I just, especially with this one, there's not too much I can say on a stock that looks like that. It's just look at the fundamentals, have a look at alpha spread. If you like the look of it, buy some, but expect it to not go anywhere. But if you like the look of it, then you can be holding it long term, and it might come back and give you a 1000x. So you never know with stocks like this. It's more about looking at the fundamentals when it's the market cap so low. I can only give you sell levels, which would be your first sell level at 0.65 cents, your next one at around 9 cents, then about, look at maybe like 11 cents, and then ultimately around 25 cents. In NES, I can have a look at Luna. We do have some thoughts on Luna. If you become a member, we can have a look at that for you. Peter, if you want us to have a look at those, please become a member. There should be rather frequency as the sun, the 11-year cycle is peaking, so the sun is more active. There should be some opportunities, hopefully, and that would be great, Vaz. More opportunities would be good. Yeah, that looks ugly, long says Kevin. It does, doesn't it? It's like a S curve to the downside. It's like, oh, what is going on? It's like accelerating to the downside. But yeah, let's see what the earnings looks like. Oh, it's files eight. It's eight. Files is 8K. Yeah, let's not spend any more time on that. Let's have a look at SBCE. Make a video about SoundHound, and let's get out of here. Do 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 do. I've overstayed my welcome a few weeks in a row, so I need to let's try and end it on time this time, and not give Martyn too much of a workload. I always overwhelm him with videos, but there's not too much going on in the markets this week, so we will just focus on the main ones. So SBCE. Let me write this down. SBCE. Took a little bit longer than expected, but it's exactly the same. Let's see. Okay. Thank you, Martyn. Yes, let's look at the SBCE chart. Always want to give you guys an update, always keep you updated with the technicals. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. If we do get 100 likes on this video, I'll be donating $50 to charity. So let's just see if we can get it up to 100 likes. It just takes a second and it will help. Our charity partner. So let's get right into the SBC video and what I think is going to happen next. A few people in the last video were a bit angry with my $100 target, but they failed, I think, to listen to the whole video, because what I'm saying is after a reverse split, maybe a 10-to-1 reverse split, all it requires is a 10x to get to $100, which if the Delta fleet comes out well, if the company continues to survive, then it's fairly likely, if we get onto the Delta fleet and we survive the next 2 years, then I think a 10x from these levels is pretty likely, and a $100 target can still be there. Of course, we're not expecting a 100x at this point, but a 10x is likely, especially if we get the 10-to-1 stock split. So just want to clear that out before we have a look at the levels we are at now. Again, another thing everyone was unhappy about was when I was saying buy SB. I mean, there's been a very few amount, small number of times where I've said buy SBC. Again, I never give financial advice, but in my opinion, the areas I've been buying, which I said, look, I'm buying at these levels. I think I've said it twice. One was initially when everyone was trying to buy it for sort of $5. I was saying don't buy, and my first buy level was at around 150. And the reason it was like that, yes, it dropped down to 140, but it was about 150 because that was the area where that's how much cash they have on hand. That's the value of the company. It's below the value of the company, and we were discovering that there's an accumulation phase going on, which then led us all the way up to 260, which was a great run of about 78%. And then it got a bit choppy. We were on the brink of breaking out and going higher, but of course, good news didn't come out. The purple trend line was there, the moving averages came into play, and the structure broke down. And then it was a sell around $2.30. There was a sell around $2.60 as well, because that was resistance. But the ultimate get out of the stock was again when we were breaking trend lines, not just when we were at resistance. So we were out of the market again at around $2.40. We made a nice 70%, which was good. When did I say buy again? Was here. I've wrote it down. I haven't moved any of this. It was around the 80 cents mark. I said if we're breaking below 85 cents, we can have a sudden move down. I'm happy to be buying now. Yes, it can drop a bit lower on the open of Monday, as it did. But as soon as we did break down on that Monday, the next day we shot back above it. So we got our buys in at 82 cents and all the way down to 75 cents even. That was the buy day then, and that's what we predicted and happened. That's the last time I said buy. And then where did I say it's going? It's going back up to $1.05. So around about a 40% move in a week, which was great. What do I think now? It hasn't changed from last time. this green line here is what I've been predicting since this level here, which was a move up, resistance at $1, coming back to maybe around 85 cents. That's our buy zone again, and then hopefully after another good maybe another good earnings, because the earnings weren't we beat on earnings this time. After another beat maybe in August, we can expect the stock to be back above $1, heading back to $1.50, $2. So I'm happy to be buying the stock again at around the same levels, at around 85 cents. That will be an area where it will come back and make sure this area is no longer resistance; it's more support. And that's my next buy level again, around 85 cents. Yes, it can go as low as 65 cents, but for now I'm not gonna I'm just going to focus on my buy levels, which have been around that 85 cents. If it drops lower, I'll buy at 64 cents. If it drops lower, yes, I'll buy at 50 cents. If it drops lower than 50 cents, then I sort of need to accept that this stock is probably going bankrupt. But for now, it looks like it's a nice risk to reward. It was never a good risk to reward at $5, $4.11, $6, $7 when everyone wants to buy, but now when it's at a good risk reward and not much has changed in the company since those levels, I much prefer buying it under $1, where it is around now 85 cents my next buy, and then again 75 cents, 65 cents, 50 cents. If it drops any lower than 50 cents, then that is concerning, and that means um, everyone has lost interest in SBC. There is something fundamentally going wrong, and the insiders are selling as well. So I'm not going to worry about that until we hit 50 cents. I'll keep you guys updated. But for me now, it looks like we're heading back into one of those uptrends, just like we did at my last buy level at 150. I'm expecting to hopefully get up to 120 on this next move. So good luck to you. Let me know your thoughts on SBCE. Are you bullish? Are you bearish? Do you see it going to $100? Which basically means $10, or do you see it going to 50 cents and going bankrupt? Leave me your thoughts in the comment section. And again, um, the indicators are looking fine. The MACD is looking positive. It's going green again, and the RSI has plenty of room to go back higher. It's not overbought. It's not oversold. It looks fine. So I'll pass it back to you, Martyn. Thank you. That's my thoughts on SBCE. Always, it's always the opposite way. When everyone's loving the stock, when everyone's saying buy, when everyone's got FOMO, it's a time to be selling, and when everyone's disinterested and it's going bankrupt, that's the areas like to buy. And a lot of people are feeling this way with SBC at the moment. Let's do one more for SoundHound. Thoughts on Nicola? Just me. If you, I would love to cover Nicola, but we're just running out of time. If you do become a member, then of course I'll cover that for you right now. Let's do SoundHound AI. Thank you, Martyn. Yes, let's have a look at. Let's stop that because we just got a super chat from Vaz. Would you like? Would you have a minute to look at ASTI? Of course, if you do a super chat, I will stay and do that for you, Vaz. Let's have a quick look at the comments while that super chat comes through, and then I'll do SoundHound and then ASTI. Um, Lol, you haven't been here for a month, Sensei. You should catch up with, with your mates. Yes, that's. How about Idiomatic and Chain, After Gorilla? I can do a technical chart for all of them if you do want to become a member. Thoughts on Nicola? Same with you, just me. Nicola and Fisk gets 2 5 plus. Then I'm breaking your. Nicola and Fisk gets to 5 plus. Then I'm breaking your donation record. Dana Peck. Amazing. We look forward to it. I do hope that happens. Fisker, probably unlikely to get to $5 plus. Nicola, probably a safer bet, but again, very high risk stock. So good luck to you, Dana Peck. We look forward to that happening and having you back on the channel. In the meantime, do consider becoming a member and we can do your chart analysis for both of those stocks. Would you have a minute to look at ASTI? Yes, that will be our final one, Vaz. We will have a look at ASTI. I'll double Dana donation at $5, Nicola Fisker. Just me, I don't quite understand what you mean. I'll double Dana donation. Just me, I don't know what you're talking about. So if you want to rephrase that and let me know. Just waiting for the super chat to come through, and then we'll do the SoundHound. Here it is.
Vaz donated £1.99 through a super chat. Would you have a minute to look at ASTI2, PLS?
Of course, Vaz. We will look at that for you just after we do SoundHound AI. It will be the last one of the night. Vaz, SoundHound AI 55. Okay. Thank you, Martin. Yes, let's have a look at SoundHound AI, one of our favorites on this channel, one of the earnings I covered last time round. You covered this recently. A lot to say about the charts of SoundHound AI. So if you are interested, please do hit the like button. If we do get 100 likes, I'll be donating $50 to charity. So it just takes 1 second to hit the like button. And I hope you appreciate us making these videos on SoundHound to keep you updated with the charts as well as the fundamentals. So here's the review of the charts for SoundHound AI and why I think I'm quite bullish on this stock. And $10 does seem possible. So last time round, we've been looking at this accumulation phase for SoundHound AI. I do want to go back to this. I've mentioned this in the previous video, but the reason I come back to this is because when you have an accumulation phase of this sort of this length, it does lead to a lot of investors being participating in this, meaning that they want to see higher prices before they get out. So there's not going to be too many order books where everyone wants to be selling at the levels we are at now. When you've been holding the stock since June of 2022 and it's been going sideways, basically, yes, there's big movements, but it's been going sideways for a fairly low market cap stock. The people that have been investing here have targets of around $100, $20, $15, $50. They're not too interested in selling their shares now. They've just been accumulating, meaning they're probably not going to be selling. And why we see that and the evidence of that is that this was resistance in the past, and what's happened now is we've broken above the resistance. And what I've said is we're going to come back to this area which was resistance, as you can see over here, in February of 2023, in June of 2023, and then what's happening now is, which is why I've got this box, this green highlighted box that was previously resistance, and what we've been saying is we're going to come back down. We're going to give us another area to be buying, which is around $3.86. We're going to have another chance of buying it because what the investors want to see is this coming back down and holding a level, turning this previous resistance into support, which seems like what's happening now. Not only was this a resistance area, it turned to support, and what happened as well is where you see these different colored lines here, the green and the red. This is the moving averages. This is week long moving averages, which have I call the bull market support band. As long as you're above it, you are in a bull market on this stock, and you came back, tested it as support, and you went back higher. We had a great earnings. Yes, it sold back a bit on Friday, but it's testing the support, and if the support holds, which I do imagine it will, it's a good area to be buying around the $4.20 level, $4.50, because the next target would be $7.97, and I do see that happening. There is plenty of room to run. If you look down here, there's the RSI, it's at 55, it's approaching the bullish control zone, meaning it's not overbought, but the momentum is the upside, which is good. And then you have a look at the MACD, another indicator. It's not in the red. Last time it was in the red, the stock dropped about close to 50%. It's in the green. Last time it ticked green, the stock went up about over 100%. So we are in the green levels right now. The momentum is on our side on the MACD as well. So what do I expect for this stock? I expect it to come down to these levels, and then start to head higher up, and my first target will be just below $8. My next target will be just below $9, and if we get above there, then we might have a little sell-off, and then ultimately my target for the stock will be getting back above those back above $10. I think this stock is valued at higher than $10, and I do expect it to reach those sort of levels in due course. So ultimately, I'm bullish on SoundHound AI. That's just a quick update for you guys who are investing in SoundHound AI. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and don't forget to smash the like button. I'll pass it back to you now, Martyn. Thank you. SoundHound, we've got one more to do for Vaz. Let's have a quick read of the comments. Oh, that's a cup of coffee, cheapskate. Dana Peck, I have no idea what you're on about. Firstly, the money doesn't go to me. I can't just go and buy a coffee. It goes towards keeping everything maintained and keeping the show live for you guys. I'm not going to go and buy a cup of coffee with $5. And that's not what you said. What Nicola and Fisk get to $5 per person and breaking your donation record. That's a cup of coffee. I don't understand what you're saying. Do you only hold one share of a 30-cent stock or 15? What's FSR on right now? 15 cents. Well, I don't know. I'm not going to buy one share of FSR at 30 cents, hoping it's going to go to $5, so then I can buy a cup of coffee. That's just not how investing works. Careful what you say there, moderators, and you can get banned. Thanks, Sensei. Hi to Jody from all of us. Thanks, Vaz. Dana Peck said that they would break the donation record, and I said I'll double it. Yes, trust me, I'm sure you would, but the donation record is certainly not $5, which is what Dan. I hope I spelled her name right. No, not quite. You just add an E at the end of that and you've got it right, Vaz. $5 FSR, and Nicola and I'll be selling for 5.25 million. Yes, that just me. That makes sense. That would be amazing. But I don't understand why Dana Peck is saying that's a cup of coffee, because 5.25 million is definitely not a cup of coffee. Millions of cups of coffee. Well, probably get a good deal if you just buy cups of coffee. You can probably get 2 million cups of coffee. Asti, I think we're having Asti on the show, which is very, very exciting. That's coming up in a couple weeks. Not sure if I was supposed to announce that or not, but there you go. It might be coming on the show. So yes, let's obviously quite a few stock splits, but let's see where we are currently. We can't have a full back test. Yeah, so we are down a lot. The trend has been to the downside. People have been selling out the stock. What would I suggest is, looking at the fundamentals, ask Martyn for a review of the stock, ask the CEO your questions, and see, is this worth buying it? In terms of technical charts, I can't give you too much insight because it's very hard for such a low market cap stock for me to try and give you buy levels, apart from the fact that 9 cents is all-time lows, so that might be an area where it might bounce. For a stock like this, you want to be looking at the fundamentals. You want to be seeing, are the company changing their direction, what are their plans for the future, what's the balance sheet looking like, what are the earnings calls like. I know it's just recently done its earnings call, so you can go back and watch that, and then make a decision on whether or not, obviously it's a high risk stock, whether or not you want to be buying this in the hopes that you can get a good return. Get it back to $1, that's a 10x, that's quite nice. I have looked at the fundamentals myself. I do like the look of this stock, but again, it's not something like the S&P, which is guaranteed to make you money long term. It's something which you need to have a close look at the fundamentals and then make a decision that way. I'll quickly look on Alpha Spread to see if we have any information, because he did do a super chat and I feel bad not being able to give you too much information. Let's see if we've got any information. There we go. Base case is sort of at value at the moment. Best case is going to around 11 cents. Worst case, about where it is now, about 9 cents. So it does have a bit of upside to it. The balance sheet It's been red for a while. It looks like it's trending to the upside. The assets it's got quite a lot of debt, but again, it's a very small company, so it can quickly shift its position and start making money quite quickly. When it's got a small company, it's very easy to turn that company around, and no Wall Street targets. So yeah, I'll be looking at the fundamentals of this and then not putting too much money in. But sometimes it's the stocks that haven't beaten up the worst, that have been in business for a while, that can turn the company around, and you can make quite a good amount of money from. But sorry, Vaz, I couldn't give you much more on that. I hope I spelled her name right. 10Q for ST was not very optimistic, to be honest. Not many sales. They're looking for further funding. I assume they would with such low market cap. They need funding, but once they get funding, that might be where the company turns around. But anyway, we have come to the end of the show. Thank you all for tuning in. 20 watching, 24 likes. Let's see if we can get that any higher. I do love always having more likes than watching. It's our sort of specialty on the Sunday show. Martyn can never achieve such a thing. we reserve that for the Sunday show, so we get more likes than watching. 18 watching, 25 likes. I love it. I love to see it. Thank you all for tuning back in. Thank you all for the kind words. And I will see you again. Either I might pop in during the show this week, or I'll see you next week. Until next time, please do take care of your money. James, I hope you get feel better. My thoughts are with you. Hopefully you're better by next week. But until next time, please all do take care of yourselves, your money, your crypto, your stocks, and each other.